And it is just 2:32 a.m. on the US East Coast as we continue our coverage with Isa Suarez, who has been out and helping with the aid, or watching the aid being delivered to one place. Yes, I hope you helped.
I did.
So tell us what you did today and who was doing it.
So we went to the island of St. John. It's one of the smallest islands, but one of the hardest hit islands of the US Virgin Islands. And we left from here, from Puerto Rico, and we basically got on a boat, private enterprise boat, from a gentleman who spent $20,000 of his own money hiring these boats and then filling them up by locals who are offering anything they can, anything from clothes to water to food. And we traveled to about 2 hours by boat, and they do this twice a day to the island of St. John. And the minute you see the island, for those of you who've traveled to the island, who've been there, who've had pina coladas, who swam in those beautiful white beaches, you would recognize that, you know just how lush and green that is. That has changed completely.
Just gone.
It is gone. I mean, your eye can't quite get it right. It looks like it's burnt from a distance, but close up you can see that it's just there are no leaves.
Because the winds just stripped everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it looks completely naked, you know. And that's what grabs you first of all. And then once you're on the land, when you're on the ground, you see how difficult it is to get around. You know, yes, we've seen the US Coast Guard, the US Navy, who have arrived in the last 24 hours.
Right.
So they've started to clear the roads. But there's no water. There is no electricity. There's one gas station, and that gas station is not operational. They've got one part that kind of broke, so they're waiting for that part to arrive from Puerto Rico.
Really?
And, you know, and people are still living with bits of their houses in tatters. Others have gone to shelters. Some are in fear because of the looting that we've seen in the last 48 hours or so. So there is that whole infrastructure problem that we've seen throughout many of the islands, but also there's this sense of isolation from people in St. John. And so many people came up to me and thanked me and thanked our crew for being there. We need to get the word out. They have forgotten about us. We are the forgotten island.
And without the private enterprise of those people taking those boats over with the goods, they wouldn't be getting anything.
No, absolutely not. I mean, they said to me, the locals saying to me, that without these private enterprises, it would have taken days. They were the first hand almost to post Hurricane Irma. They were the ones on the ground, and they said it took way too long for government officials to get there. And what one lady said to me that really struck with me is that she said, you know, we've always been a small island surrounded of tiny rocks, she said, surrounded by big ocean, and this just made it feel even worse, completely isolated.
Isa, thanks so much. Isa Suarez, who was out on one of those boats giving aid, but private boats. I mean, we've heard this complaint a lot, Aisha, about how slow the official response has been. We're seeing a lot of stuff going in now, but without groups like the ones that Isa was with today, a lot of those people wouldn't have gotten anything for days.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael, Isa, thank you. And the question is, you know, will that help be consistent as they move forward? It's not just about this moment. It's a long road to full recovery. Michael, Isa, thank you. We'll check.